Hey, welcome back. Let's talk about finances today. But look at that sunset. Blessed, blessed and grateful. All right, so most of us, I would say it's a very normal thing for any big transition we do in life. Look, I quit alcohol recently. More to come on that. But a lot of times we don't make the changes that we need to make to improve ourselves, to become better, until we get to that point where the pain is just so great. And that's different. You know, the pain that we get to is on a degree, on a scale, and so it's different for every single one of us. Some people, it may take one drink of alcohol and they're like, I'm never touching it again in my life. Others, it takes, after college they're done, and on and on and on. People 5 years, 10 years. So talking about finances today, getting out of debt. I think some of the best advice I heard recently, and which is very obvious, is that once you start making money, once you've gotten out of debt, is don't get in the trap of buying liabilities. It's so, we grow up as kids, we've got when I was a kid, you had the J.C. Penney's catalog, and especially around Christmas time, that would go out to all the houses, and you look at all the toys you want, you write out your Christmas list and stuff, and you look at the things you want. And and I don't know what it is today. I'm sure it's something online that kids do. Oh, I want that, I want these sneakers, I want this phone. And we get so accustomed to just a drive of wanting more than what we have, wanting things we don't have. And it's so common, forgive yourself for getting into that. It's very human, but one of the best things you can do, do for yourself in totality for your life is to get your finances squared away. Number one, get out of debt, stay out of debt. Number two, live below your means. And number three, save and or invest the difference. First, save until you have a chunk and continue to save, but then starting to invest and get your money to make money for you. Whether it's real estate, that's what I love, cryptocurrency, I should say Bitcoin. I'd stay out of crypto. I'm a believer in Bitcoin only. Stocks, bonds, dividend stocks, options, very risky. Whatever it is, precious metals, gold, silver. But so once you it's very rare for people to get off on a good start in life and they just get it financially. They understand it, they stay out of debt, they were always a good saver. Those people are few and far between. Like I said, most of us, it's going to take getting some student loans, getting some credit card debt, feeling the pain, feeling that pressure, that untangible pressure that is always there, that most or a big portion of our paycheck is not going to us, it's going to someone else that we owe. A credit card company, a loan company, a car loan company, whatever it is. And that sucks, right? That totally sucks. I've been there, said it before. I was at my peak, I was like $30,000 in debt between everything. But once you get out of debt, it's so easy to be like, well, I got money now. Now I can buy all that stuff I want. It's so easy to get caught in that trap. And you see it if you work at a company where they give bonuses. And bonus time comes, whether it's quarterly, yearly, and you start hearing people chatter. Oh, I'm gonna buy that big screen TV. We're gonna build a pool. Gonna build this. I'm gonna get a new car. I'm gonna fix my car. And look, I'm not talking about just the maintenance of life. Keep your car, keep the upkeep on your car, keep the upkeep on the things that you have, your house, etc., your body. Take care of it. Spend the money on it. But telling you, and these are the boring. This is the boring advice. This is the boring stuff. Everyone wants that hot stock tip. Everyone wants to know the next real estate market. Everyone wants to get in on the next cryptocurrency, during the pump and get out before the dump. We all want that, of course. We all wanted to get into Bitcoin when it was, 15 bucks. But number one, this is a great thing. Get in the habit of applying the things that get you to slow wealth. Get attracted to slow wealth. The attractive stuff is the fast wealth, is the movie stars, is the music stars, is the sports stars. Holding them up as idols, as something that we think we can achieve. And look, there's a rare person that can, but having a dose of reality and realize, hey, look, most 99.99999% of us live and die in ordinary life, and we are forgotten at most 2 generations after we're dead. There's no thought of us whatsoever. Enjoy existence because of that. Enjoy your existence. And one of the best tools to enjoy your existence is to have your finances squared away. Don't get pulled into the habit of buying liabilities. Another big screen TV, a car that is much more expensive, much bigger, and has many more purposes than what you need it for. You don't need a Cadillac Escalade if you're just, the most you do is you do pizza delivery on the side, or you're just a college student. You don't need a pickup truck if you're never doing stuff that you need to haul, that you need to utilize the back cab for. You're just paying for that extra space and for the markup in price. You don't need a brand new car. Oh my God, you do not need a brand new car. You don't. Look, I am basically at a point now, and I'm not tooting my horn, I'm just stating this as an objective fact, and to help you and to help the audience, that if I wanted to live somewhat frugally, I could walk away from my daytime job right now. I could walk away from my daytime job, not have to go back because of my investments. What a great feeling that is. Okay, I'm not there yet. I'm not where I want to be yet. But what a disaster it would be for me to go out and I got a 2006 Honda Accord, okay, fully paid off. I got a 2006 Chevy Trailblazer back at my old man's house, fully paid off. Okay, I'm not tooting my horn because I got 2 cars. It's just convenient because living in one country and then going back home to utilize that. It would be disastrous for me, and especially for my goals, if I was to go out and live in an apartment, man, I love space. I don't get claustrophobic. I just like having space. So my last few apartments have been 2 bedrooms, and it's just me, okay? And I'm willing to, look, I still have the things that I'm willing to pony up for. But if I was to go out, I could get a 2-bedroom apartment in a way better apartment building, okay, with way better stuff. And look, I've been in this apartment. I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but who really cares? I'm the one who lives here. I still don't have a couch in this place. It's unfurnished. I have a bed. I have a desk, a computer desk where I work out. The extra room is my yoga room. And then out in the living room, I don't have a couch. I don't have a kitchen table. I have kind of like a breakfast bar that's built into the apartment. That's it. And look, I want a couch. It'd be comfortable on the weekends. But I'm just like, I'm fine. But also this taps into maybe some childhood trauma where it's hard to treat myself good. It's hard to give myself the things that I want and would be good for me and would be nice to have. And that's a short list. That's my other tip. Keep that list short. Look, there's so many things. I would love to have an Escalade. I would love to have a better car. I'd love to have a newer car. I would love to have a better apartment. I would love to eat steak every night, okay? I would love to have nicer clothes. But my goals, my financial goals, and the goal of not wanting, look, everything you own carries a space in your head. That's one thing I learned from minimalism. Every piece you own, every piece of clothing, every item in your house carries a spot in your head. And if you've gone through like a purging process or multiple of them, you understand what I'm talking about. When you get rid of that thing, when you donate to Goodwill, Salvation Army, another family in need, whatever, there is something freeing of that. Whether you feel a weight off your shoulders, extra space in your mind, that is absolutely true. So when you start making money, especially if you got a job, and the bonus thing is so huge. Look, I got caught up in, bonuses come and I'm like, oh, you're just drooling about what, I can't wait to get this, I can't wait to get that. And look, 99% of my coworkers do that, okay? That is the norm. Be unnormal when it comes to finances, okay? Live below your means. Spend less than you make, save the difference. But just don't get caught up in adding these liabilities. You don't need, if you live alone, you don't need 2 TVs. I've got the same computer monitor that I've had for, God, like 8 years. There's way better ones out there. They look so good, so cool. It works for me. I can play video games on it. It works for my work. It's fine. Okay. I have the same gym shorts. Look, I should say, the average lifespan of gym shorts when I buy them is like 4 to 5 years, and I usually have 2 at a time and then 2 other pairs for jujitsu. As long as they look fine and like the pattern is not starting to flake off, like the print. And same with shirts, same with gym shirts, same with t-shirts. Look, I got a shirt from when I lived in Memphis. I moved out of there in 2016. I still wear this shirt that I bought in Memphis. I just don't give an F. It's comfortable, I like it. I'm colorblind, it's blue, so it's easy to match with. I buy new clothes like once a year. And that is my philosophy, okay? And that is my advice to you. I just recommend not getting caught up in that trap, in the consumer trap. And look, it is a hard one to get out of. It is a really hard one to get out of. I'm empathetic to anyone who's in debt, anyone who's currently living paycheck to paycheck, or even less than that. Your paychecks just aren't cutting it. Look, I've been there. I had 3 jobs at one time. I had 2 jobs my entire life up until like, God, I don't know, 4 years ago. I'm 44 now. I always had like a primary job and then a secondary job, all the time. And only now I'm able to do that. Look, we're born in the time we're born in. Okay, the boomers, my parents' generation, they had it good. Okay, everything was just increasing. Yeah, we had the '87 crash. Okay, we had some other dips in the market. And people got hurt from that, absolutely. We had the 2008 crash, that's more of a Gen X thing. And my generation probably has it better than any Gen Z that's watching this out there. I'm sorry. It's something we just can't choose. But I'm telling you, man, if you can get out of debt, or just stay out of debt, or get out of debt, then stay out of debt, that is such a it makes you physically more empowered in life, frees up your mental space. You're not spending so much time worrying about the next thing, the next bill. Am I going to be able to make it? Okay, it is worth grinding, getting that extra job, putting in extra hours to earn yourself that freedom, to get out of it. Look, forgive yourself for getting in debt. We live in a consumer-based society. We are born and bred to be consumers, and it's criminal. I think it's criminal that is how like how this society is built. It's one of the terrible things about this society, but that's also another thing that drives it, and we got all this cool technology and different things. But if you can take one thing away, man, get and stay out of debt, and just don't get caught in adding liabilities to yourself. And look, a car is a liability. When you fill out a lot of financial forms, you fill out a mortgage, it goes on the asset side of your balance sheet. When they're finding out, like, okay, is this person someone I want to lend to? It does go on the asset side, but think of it as a liability. Unless it's something you make money from, like Uber or driving pizza or whatever, you're a traveling salesman, if that's still a thing. Okay, a car is a liability. It is a sinkhole of money, especially if you buy a new one. I mean, you might as well just, you're just given 15% of the purchase price, just to thin air. Because as soon as you drive it, everyone knows, as soon as you drive it off the lot, how much the value decreases. Okay. Don't add assets. Once you get out of debt and you have a little chunk, add assets, add things that make money. Do not add liabilities. Okay? Absolutely, like I said, I'm going to have a steak tonight. I allow myself, I like to buy really good coffee, the stuff that I brew at home. There are things that I like to call, I heard it once, it's called selectively frugal, okay? I spend for luxury on very few items. okay? But most everything else, I'm a cheap bastard. You know, I buy new clothes, but I buy them on when they're on sale. I buy them from the, you know, the TJ Maxx's, the Marshalls. Okay, I buy my eyeglasses from Zenni Optical, which is an online glasses website, and they're cheap as hell. Okay, I do those things because I don't want the headaches, I don't want the worry, I don't want the bills, I don't want the calls that I used to have. The pain drove me to this. Okay, so stay out of debt, and just don't add liabilities to yourself. Get into assets, get into investing. We'll get into more of, you know, what I like to do in more videos. But look, the times we live in, there's no excuse not to be able to learn. Look, you might have an excuse of that you're not successful right away, but there's not an excuse that you can't learn about these things. You can't learn about investing. Investopedia is a fantastic website. It has so many different courses. I went through their dividend stock investing course recently. Fantastic. Enjoyed it. Learned a lot. I'm not going to be investing in dividend stocks. I mean, I have some. I might add a little here and there throughout the year, but it's not even worth talking about it. It's so little of my passive income. Okay, I'm a real estate guy. I'm a crypto guy, and some metals. Okay, do what works for you. Do what interests you. Okay, we'll end it there. Have a good night. Like, subscribe, and share.
And look at that. Look at that sunset.
Thanks for watching.